DSP. As always, I'm your host, Josh. And clearly tonight, you can tell I don't really have a voice, so I'm going to sound really, really funny. My guest tonight is Ryan. I'll let him fully introduce himself, where he's from, and how did he even get into disc golf.
What's up? So my name is Ryan Barham. I'm from a town that's about an hour north of Dallas, down here in Texas. If you can't tell by my, awesome Southern accent. And I got into disc golf, so it's kind of interesting. I kind of dabbled with it and played with it around, probably around 2013-ish, 2014-ish. Kind of as an extension from Ultimate Frisbee. But I didn't really get into it until like COVID, because my youngest brother, my brother that's 10 years younger than me, got into it with one of his friends from high school and ended up taking me out. And so it was the kind of thing where it's like, it kind of sunk its teeth in me, like really deep at that point. And so I've always been athletic. I've always been in athletics. I work around athletics now for my normal day job. And so it was the kind of thing where like, once I found it back in 2020, it like I said, it sunk its teeth in, and it's turned into, what it is now, where I'm competing, probably 10, 15 times a year. But yeah, I mean, I got into it because my youngest brother got me into it. And then also it was kind of a extension of being a Brody Smith fan as well. I've been a Brody Smith fan from back during his Ultimate days. And then whenever he went into disc golf, it was just a natural progression for me to get into disc golf. And it's been a massive part of my life for the last 5 years.
That's really cool. So you being this, have you ever ran into Brody?
I actually, so whenever him and his wife were made the move to Virginia originally, he lives probably half an hour away from where I live.
Ooh.
And so like we're within super close proximity with one another. I never met him in passing or anything like that, but whenever he was moving to Virginia, he had made his rounds around some of his favorite courses in the DFW area. And so one of those days, like I took the time to like go, and I met him whenever he got done playing a little course in McKinney called Alex Clark. And like he was giving out Ultra Stars out of his trunk, and he was taking pictures and signing stuff for people. And so I got him to sign like a get freaky zone that I've got still hanging up on my wall at home, and I got a couple of Ultra Stars from him like out of his trunk. And so I did actually get to meet him at one point. Yeah.
That is so cool. So, what's the disc golf scene like in your local area?
It's pretty good. So at one point, I think Alex Clark was actually like a top 3 most played course in the nation, not just in Texas. It wasn't like it was like highest rated. It's never been like a world ranked course. It was just like one of the ones that's most played. It's pretty short. It's 18 holes, all par 3s. I think the longest one is like this big dog leg left. If you're from the area and you've ever been out there, people are gonna know that, like, okay, yeah, hole 16, you got creek that runs along the left side of it. It's just this big dog leg that plays probably 380, but like it's pretty much no worse than a 3 at this point for me. So like that course is one of the most played courses, but I've got probably 15 courses within a half hour drive of me. If I want to drive an hour, I can go to Harry Myers, which is a top 5 ranked course in Texas. I can go to the Hideaway Disc Golf Ranch, which is the #1 course in Texas. I can hit up a couple of like older courses that used to be like, I don't know if they were ever like Harry Myers, I know was a national tour stop. At one point, there's 2 Mandos on one hole out there that they actually had to put in place because of Eagle McMahon. And so, yeah, like they put in these, which is just, if you see the hole, it's like, well, why are there 2 Mandos there? Because no mortal human being would ever be able to like even think about going that direction. And it's like, oh yeah, it's because they're in place because of Eagle, because he broke the hole kind of thing. But there's a Dynamic Discs down in Louisville that runs tons of events. I think they have, they're like the big company that really runs like a lot of flexes. So so they're doing, during the summertime they've got a flex almost every single weekend. They have like a tour that they put together that's probably got 15 or 20 events throughout the year. So they
Oh,
so they're
wow.
running, yeah. So I mean, they're running an event almost every other weekend at some point, or back to back to back weekends at some points. Um, Another round actually has a location that's in McKinney now, that opened up almost a year, coming up on a year ago. Um, but I mean, like I said, there's courses all over the place, and every city and every course kind of has its own little group of people that like has their minis. We don't like here in Texas, we don't have like league play. So it's not like they have leagues that's like constantly going on where it's like you get your PDGA rating, you get to do all that sort of stuff and like really keep your stats that way. It's more of just like, hey, here's the Monday night mini, here's the Tuesday night dubs, here's the Wednesday night, uh, you know, random draw dubs. There's Friday glow night, there's Thursday putt night at this place, there's Wednesday putt night, at this place. So there's stuff all over it. Like again, if you're in the Metroplex, you're probably within half an hour of having a mini or something that you can go to every night of the week, or getting up early and there's 3 or 4 groups of guys that run minis at courses all around the Metroplex on like Sunday mornings. It's really just a matter of like kind of finding the group of people that you like really jive with and like you can really like that you're close to, or like whatever works for your night.
That's really cool. Sounds like you're like really in the heart of the disc golf world there.
Yeah, a little bit. It's not like, yeah, I wouldn't say that it's a disc golf mecca like Austin maybe, because like Austin I think has like probably has better courses. Um, but there's so many courses. It's ridiculous. Like there's almost too many, because you've got one group that's trying to do something on Monday night, and then you got another group that's trying to do something here on Monday night, and then you got another group that's trying to like. So it's like, well, which one do I want to go to? Because I've got buddies at each one. And it's like I don't have like one big group that really goes to either one. But if you get within McKinney alone, which is 15 minutes down the road from me from where I live, you've literally got something that just the McKinney Disc Golf Association puts on every single night. And so if you get in with that group, you can get in and like you've got something every single night that you can do disc golf stuff, and it's just within like McKinney city limits.
That's really cool. So, are you guys able to play all year round, or do you guys have like time of year where no one really gets out and plays?
Well, so you're in Buffalo, right? Or you're
Yep,
northern New York, Western New York.
Western New
Uh,
York. Yep.
okay, so like I'm in North Texas, but it's not like I'm in a snowy part of Texas. So right now I'm in South Texas, and it's literally going to be 80 degrees all week long.
Ooh.
Which is out of the ordinary for December. Like normally we're still getting into the 40s or the 30s, and like it gets windy and such. Like honestly, I'm going to be playing my first tournament of 2025 at the end of January. I would be willing to bet it's probably going to be about 38 degrees, and it's probably going to have rained the entire week up until that weekend kind of thing. So like there's definitely times whenever the weather is like not ideal, because I mean, then you flip the coin on the other side. You're playing in the middle of July, and you've got 2 rounds in one day, and it's going to be 104 degrees outside. It's like, are you
Wow.
ready? Like, is your body like prepared, and like, do you have enough energy and water and all that sort of stuff to like be able to do it? But we don't get feet and feet and feet of snow. Like at best, like if we've had a really snowy year, we've probably got 6 to 8 inches. Like, and
That would be nice to have for a winter.
yeah, that's out of the ordinary kind of thing. Like mostly what we get is going to be, probably 2 inches of snow that'll melt throughout the day, and then it's going to drop, into the 20s or something, and then freeze over, and then it's going to be icy, and it's just going to kind of be stuck in that cycle for a couple of days until we get 40 degrees for a couple of days, and it's actually able to wash off. Um, but yeah, other than that, it's like we can play year round. Now, during the winter time, there's not as many tournaments, obviously, and it's just because of people traveling, people being gone, and the weather. You don't really know what you're going to get. You might get 80 degrees like you get right now, or you might get 20 degrees with 20-mile-an-hour winds, and you're not going to have anybody show up in that. But yeah, for the most part, we get to play year round,
That's
nonstop.
really cool. So,
Yeah.
out of all the courses near you, what is your favorite to play, and what is your least favorite to play?
Oh, it's such a tough question. Um, because like over this last year, like I've really I've tried to like take a little bit more time to practice, really tried to like improve my game and to really try to challenge myself. Um, so there's some courses. I really think that like my favorite course is probably going to be a course called Munson Park up in Denison. It's like it's you might be 5 minutes from the Oklahoma border, 10 minutes from the Oklahoma border. But it offers such a different style of golf to like everything else in the Metroplex because you kind of like where I'm at. It's really kind of like it's hard to explain. Like you basically just got your park style where everything's just like wide open and they're just kind of trying to like use some trees here and there if they can, or you've got some that are just like wooded, but there's like just thick like briars and like thorns and all sorts of stuff in
Mhm.
the underbrush. So like it just it's almost like if you take like Brazos Park East, right? Like, down in Waco, you
Yeah.
basically like if you split it and you think of the two different halves, how like you have the wooded portion of the beast and you have the not wooded portion of the beast.
Mhm.
That's basically like you basically get that either or.
Oh, okay.
There's not very many courses that offer both. Um, and but then there's also just a lot of flat courses out here. So the thing that I like about Munson is it gives you some like woods and lines that you have to hit, but it also adds in elevation. So like hole 3 out there is 520 feet long, but it's like it plays probably 100 feet downhill from like where you tee off to like to the basket. And so like if you get a lucky day where you've got the wind coming at your back rather than blowing up the hill, then you can just like absolutely bomb your drive and you have a look at an eagle, for Eagle 2 on a 500-foot hole. Um, and it's just so different from everything else in the area and around me. Harry Myers is a pretty good one. I respect it and I do enjoy it because it's got some history, like especially regarding the tour. Um, but and it offers like it's very park style, but there is some pretty tough and pretty decent wooded portions on it. And then my least favorite course. Man, I don't know. It might depend on the day. Like, there's definitely sometimes whenever there's like, oh, do you want to go play here? I'm like, no, don't want to play that course today. um, I think it's man. I think the one course that I just won't ever go to again is there's this little 9-hole course called Bethany Lakes or Bethany Park or something like that, and it's just like it doesn't really offer anything that's like all that great to me. It's okay, but it's not like it's kind of rinky dinky and like there's some stuff that just takes some luck that's involved and it's kind of laid out weird and it's just like it's not that great of a course, honestly. So like it's never one that I'm thinking like, oh yeah, like I need to go play that because I haven't played it in a while. It's like, nope, I've played it the few times that I've played it and I don't have any desire to go play it again.
Yeah. So out of the whole season that you played this year, what was your favorite tournament?
Ooh, my favorite tournament. So I played my first. I played my first A tier. Back in. I guess it would have had to have been November. It might have been the week before Thanksgiving. Um, yeah, I don't know. I played the Veterans Park Open. Um, I think that's another course that used to be like it used to be kind of a big tour stop that a lot of guys would go and play. Like there's Jomez, like Jomez has rounds that they've covered and they've got out there of that park and of that tournament specifically. So that one was really fun and that one was really cool. Just because of the prestige of it, I played like cheeks. It was really frustrating. I shot 6 to 10 points over my rating for 2 rounds, but I shot 60 points under my rating for the second round. so like,
Yeah.
so, and it was on the day that was like the best scoring conditions possible. Like there was no wind out there whatsoever. It was like absolutely perfect weather. It was so frustrating. That one was really special though, because it was my first A tier. There was just like history around it. And so like, I really respected that event. But literally the week before I played that, I played a flex that Dynamic had put on out at a park called Jimmy Porter and shot my first ever 1,000 rated round out there.
Ooh,
Shot a
nice.
nine down bogey free round out there. Ended up getting second place because somebody else went out and shot like a 14 down or something like that. Like it's
Oh,
the
wow.
last card off. Yeah. But I think if you consider a flex a tournament, then
Yeah, I
that
do.
was probably my favorite event. But outside of that, the getting to play Veterans Park Open was really cool. And then there was another event my first event that I played. Oh, yeah, no, never mind. Yeah, Veterans Park's Open. I'll go with that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So earlier you were talking about like how you wanted to focus on practicing and getting better. So what does your practice and training look like?
So for me, honestly, so I've got one of my best friends. He's one of my best friends. His name is Mike, Mike Prochaska. Uh, but he is one of the best disc golfers that I've ever come across, that I've ever gotten to know. That's actually how we've become best friends, is because he worked with one of my wife's friends, and like I mentioned disc golf one point, he's like, "Oh, disc golf," like the Spider-Man meme kind of thing. And
Yeah.
so it's blossomed into this awesome friendship. But honestly, he's basically just like been my coach. He was, whenever he was competing a lot, he had had multiple 1,000 rated rounds. Like he was working his way to 1,000, and then he just kind of like got sick of the grind. But getting to pick his brain, getting to work with him, and like most of my practice is really like just on the course. So I'll go to a course that like, that's going to be that's going to be challenging and also probably have some length. And then I'm going to probably throw 2 or 3 shots off of each tee, trying to work on shots, and then just trying to like really hone in and visualize and see all of my options. Like, okay, do I need like a hyzer flip backhand? Do I need a turnover backhand? Do I just need to rip a forehand at it? And trying to like really like play golf and dissect the hole. Like, okay, where does my landing area need to be? Where am I trying to get to so I can attack this basket, or can I attack this basket? If not, where do I need to end up so I can get to a spot so I can make my par? And so it's really like trying to be intentional, like trying to really work a lot of shots. I need to be doing more field work, and need to be doing more, probably more. I mean, everybody could always practice more putting.
Yeah,
Um, for
for
me,
sure.
field work has just kind of been, field work can get a little difficult for me because it's hard for me to just like pick a target out there in like a wide open field and then like really just like imagine this line that I'm needing to hit. Whereas, so like I like to do my stuff on the course where it's like, okay, I'm here, my gap is there, like like I've got to get the disc to that gap. You know, now if I need a left skip or if I need a right skip or if I just need it to go straight, like then that can be determined on whatever the hole is asking of me. But it's like I'll sit, like if I'm having trouble, there's one hole at a course that has just been like a mental block for me. because it's like this little. It's been playing as a par four if you're playing it to the long position, but you're playing in the wide open for the first 250 feet, and then it is like a 12 to 15 foot wide tunnel that's like at an angle, and so like you have to hit like this very specific, like it really just asks for like a backhand flex shot. So like, if you can just get your disc like just moving on just a little bit of ante and just start to pan as it reaches the tunnel, you're gonna be fine. But it's such, for some reason, it's such a hard angle and a hard shot for me to hit that every time I go and I'm playing that course, like just kind of chilling and playing it casual, I'll probably end up throwing 10 shots because it's like I'm trying to hit the angle, trying to hit the angle, trying to hit the angle because it's a very demanding shot and it's so satisfying to be able to like hit it. And then it's, I know that eventually that like needing that shot will translate, and it's like, oh, this is just like hole 11 at Trinity. Like it just, that's all this is. And then just be able to hit that angle and like attack that shot.
Yeah. So, if you could give like advice to people who are looking to improve their game, the most drastic, what would be the one thing that you would tell them to practice to see the most improvement the quickest?
Learn to approach. Um, I I think everybody wants to throw 450 feet. Like if I've got like a tailwind, maybe a little bit downhill, I can reach 450. In all reality, I mean, and it's not like that difference between like 425 and 450 is sometimes feels like a lot, but I'm probably about a 410 to 425 off of my tee shot kind of thing, and
Oh wow.
I've only just recently got that within the past probably 3 or 4 months. It's been a combination of like finding discs that like are fine, that can like hold those lines and hold that power, but it's also been a little bit of
Yeah.
like finding my form and like figuring it out and really getting it honed in with what works right for me and my style of throw. um but you're not always going to need that. Like sometimes all you need, like, for most people, whenever, if you're getting into it or if you're wanting to see your scores drop, then you're probably only throwing 320 to 350 maybe. And it's like, if you can know how to approach the basket, you're going to make those putts shorter, and you're going to, you're going to make the game easier. Like if I ever look back on like rounds where I've had a really hot round, or I've had a good rated round or whatever, the thing that's different is I'm giving myself 12 to 18 footers rather than 25 to 35 footers. Right? I'm much more likely
Yeah.
to convert those 12 to 18 foot putts, whether it be for saving a par or saving a bogey, or whether it be making a birdie. But getting to that point is the big thing. I'm never thinking back of just like, oh, if I had just thrown this disc 410 instead of 380, it's almost always like, if I'm not giving myself edge of circle putts and I'm giving myself, you know, very mid distance C1 putts, I'm probably going to score well.
Yeah.
And so like being comfortable, really being comfortable within that like 300 to 350 spot, if you can get to where you're within like whatever your comfort range is for your putt, whether it's 10 foot for one person or 25 foot for another person, like being able to approach and getting to your desired distance is going to be far more beneficial, because it's going to make the putting easier, which is going to make the scoring better, which is going to lead to lower
Yes.
scores, lead to better ratings, whatever. I think that like the approach game, and you would even say the same thing about like ball golf, right? Like everybody's like, oh, these guys are hitting these massive drives. Well, it doesn't matter, because the guys that are scoring well are probably they're putting their shots that are 150 yards within 10 feet and then
Yep.
converting the putt kind of thing. You know, it's getting that proximity to the hole for your approach shot is what's actually going to help improve your game more than like adding the distance.
Yeah. So, earlier, like a few minutes ago, you said find discs that work for you. So what is actually in your bag, and what are you throwing?
So I am on my third year being on Team Hooligan discs. They're currently now made by Gateway. They left the Lone Star umbrella and they're being molded. They've been molded by Gateway for the last 3 years. So they've got 6 molds. They've got the dime, the cash, the flip, the thread, the vibe, and the yeet.
Okay.
All of them except the yeet are currently in production. The yeet, they're in the process of tweaking the mold, and kind of retooling it and getting it to work right. But so being on Team Hooligan, since they don't have a full lineup, they don't require you to have one of everything in the bag. They really only require us to have 3 of the 6 molds in the bag.
Yeah.
But I currently I've got the vibe, the flip, the cash, and the wait, let me think. I've got everything except the thread. So I've got the vibe, the yeet, the cash, the flip, and the dime. So I'm putting with these awesome glow plastic dimes.
Okay.
This is not the newer run of glow plastic. The newer glow plastic is called their lunar plastic. This is what they've run last year and the year before, I believe. It's just kind of got that perfect blend of perfect blend of stiffness and tackiness for me that just really fits, feels great in my hand. The number one mold that I will always recommend to somebody for them is the cash. Um, Trevor Staub, he's got his name on
Yep.
it. He's got all of his runs of caches. What I always like to say for people is it's like the stable putter you've probably been looking for. I can throw that in a headwind. It might stand up a little bit, but it's gonna maintain. It's not going to burn over on me, and it'll still keep its stability. If I'm needing something, probably 250, 260 feet on just like a stock hyzer, that's immediately what I'm going for. It's almost a 100%er. Um, Other than that, I've got a very interesting and eclectic bag. I would say I've got a little bit of everything. Like right now, kind of the weirdest disc that I've got in my bag is I've got a Castoplast Rask. With
Okay.
that double rim. Um, it's a very funky one to have, but like it's that super super fast, super stable. So it's like if I've got a ripping headwind or something, like I can go to it and I know it's gonna still get left for me. I've got the new run of the Gannon Cloud Breakers. But like my go-to driver is this pink and blue 2021 run or the 2022 run of Destroyer. Um, the Calvin Heimberg Halo Destroyer. This is like what I'm thinking, and I need a destroyer to be all the time.
Yeah.
Um, I've got 2 vibes. This is a GT Hancock Tour Series Metal Flake vibe. This is like my if I just need something where I don't want to actually have to just crank on it, I can stick it on hyzer and that thing's gonna pop up flat. It'll give me a nice little drift right and just go for forever. This is if you're kind of a slower arm speed and people are like learning how to throw backhands and like are wanting something that's gonna give them distance. This is like a beat-in Wraith out of the bag. Like it's gonna go for a mile. And then I've got this brand new chain deer one that they released just this last week. Glow vibe. I think this one's gonna end up being my roller disc. I can get both of these if I get them like out on like a steep Annie. It'll turn and it'll just get all the way down and they'll go for forever on that roller angle for me.
Ooh.
Um, and then we'll just keep on going down the line. I've got a DD3, an NFMA S-Line DD3 in the bag as well. And then I've got 2 PDs. both Innova made. I've got the Color Glow Dark Mall 2, and then I've got just an S line Innova made PD. That same buddy Mike that I had mentioned earlier, he's gotten me onto all the old Innova made Discmania. Since I'm kind of later to the game with it, it's like I'm finding out like, oh, okay, this old plastic that they used to have actually, like, this is why it's so sought after, and this is why everybody wants it. This orange PD has honestly gotten like flippy for me. Like, it's one that it's a PD that I can legit hyzer flip and get a little bit of drift out of, and then still have plenty of stability at the end for me. I've got an X out PD2 that flies more like a PD because it's so beat in. It's just the same thing. It's got a hyzer flip to flat, gonna go, still get stable, and then a Glow Discmania run PD2 just for, again, a headwind disc. If I just need a nice steep hyzer, it's not gonna turn over on me. Got cap wrap for the stable flex forehands.
Yep.
A FD3 for like my standard forehand. Those are, my go-to forehand discs. A 3-time Paul Macbeth Thunderbird.
Ooh.
There's another guy around here or around my area. His name is Luke Jenkins. You might know him as Cotton Candy Disc Golf on YouTube. He's a local to me. Like, his big thing that he's been doing is he's done used bin finds, and so he just goes like, so we have a Replay Sports in McKinney that's got they've literally probably got 1,500 to 2,000 discs that are used in their used section. So like, they've constantly just got it turning over, and like, you never know what you will find. I think he did it like a whole like $10 to $5,000 challenge just flipping used discs.
Oh, wow.
I found an AJ3 line destroyer in there like a month ago. That's honestly where I've found the Calvin destroyer. I found the PD2. I found the FD3. I found the orange PD. I found this Thunderbird. Next one that I've got in the bag is a Kona Peach Stay Open FD2. This is really just like a stable FD for me at this point. Flip up, won't turn over, still get stable. And then I've got 3 FDs in the bag. I've got the new Q-Line FD. There's something about like the Discmania made FDs where the wing is just a little bit different in my hand. It's a little bit thicker. It's a little bit sharper. And I kind of like the feeling of like this old FD a little bit better. But I've got them layered in there, for stability's sake. Basically, if I'm needing a hyzer flip with maybe a little bit of a breeze, I'll go to this one. If I want a little bit of hyzer flip and turn, I go to this FD. If I want my dead straight, I go to this FD. These ones are both Innova made. This one's Discmania made. Then down to my mids, I've got a Recluse as my very overstable mid. Same thing. That thing's not going to turn over in a headwind for me at all. It's just, it'll fight it, get left. This is the newest one I've got in the bag, an Innova made MD5, just nice standard overstable mid. My new go-to straight mid is a Buzz SS, the Ezra Tour Series from this last year, and then Hooligan Flip. This thing is so much fun to throw. Like, I think I think here pretty soon I'm probably going to do a flippy disc challenge where I'm going to put up like this with a fox and a lobster and a roll, something like that. But this is the kind of thing where it's like, if I don't have something, it's a get out of jail free card at times. Now granted, I'm also more of a hyzer thrower. So like, knowing that I need to hyzer flip something, like if I don't have a run up, if I need to do a patent pending or something like that, this thing, I don't have to throw it very hard and it'll get the full stand up for me if I get it hard enough, it'll get a full stand up and turn over for me.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take much to get it going over to do that. And then I've got 2 zones and a Berg in the bag as like my forehand and my approach discs.
Nice.
Oh, and then the last one that I didn't mention, I guess, is the North Cove Luna. That's my straight, to just straightforward putter that I like to throw.
No trilogy, I see, huh?
No, it's kind of gone in and out. I know that. So like I had told you before, like I was listening to you, like especially talking with Robbie C, and how you love the Felon. And the more I hear you talk about it, and especially hearing you talk with him about it, it's like definitely like those sake bomb Felons are probably more of what I would throw.
Yes.
Because I have a buddy now. I've got a buddy that throws a lot of trilogy because that's who had kind of like he had a buddy that had got him going to it, and it's been very much it's like okay, well we get this or we get this, and then like it's supposed to fly one way, and sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Now of course most of the time we're buying them used, so you never really know how seasoned a disc is. So it's hard to tell, but the Felons for him, the not sake bomb Felons, tended to kind of be very like, well, is this one going to flip and turn and just hold? Or is this one like going to be like a sake bomb Felon?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of been hard to tell and hard to really see. But it's just kind of the company that's just never really like really stood out or just really like jived with hand feel or anything like that. It's just like nothing has ever really seemed like, oh, I just really need to try that, or I really need to try that. I do have the Berg and I've got the Rask, if you want to consider those trilogy.
House of Disc, maybe.
House of Disc trilogy, I have thrown Rives. I do like the Rives. I will say the Supreme plastic and the Royal plastic, if I was gonna go with a trilogy bag, that's 100% the first thing I'm going to.
That's like all that I got. Like all my molds are those.
Yeah, like I think that's some of the best feeling plastic that is on the market, honestly. But I think if I was gonna go, I've seen people throw it. I have thrown it, and I just don't bag any. But I would probably go with something like a Rive, the Honor. I would probably end up throwing the EMAC Truth, but even with the EMAC Truth, you never really know which ones you're going to get because it's kind of been tweaked
until now. Because now they've been retooled, and now they fly like they should.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely highly recommend getting your hand on one of the new retooled ones. They'll have the new stamp like that.
Yeah,
and you're gonna love it.
So EMAC. So I don't know if he's not from Texas, is he? I don't know his.
I'm not really sure.
Okay, well he's got his hands in course design on all sorts of courses around here. He's got Heritage Park, which is probably about an hour away from me. That he's designed. He actually he redesigned the course that like in my town where I live. He's got another one. He's got another one that he designed and opened just a couple of years ago, just kind of over on the east side of the Metroplex. But I got to meet him at Disc South last year and talk to him a little bit. But he's, his course design. He's got course design all over the DFW area. For of course, tons of blind shots and all sorts of things like that. So you see, going back to it, Trilogy is just one of those ones that I haven't like really tried a ton and just like really bagged anything.
Yeah, I would highly recommend like the Sake Bomb Felons if you're gonna dabble into the Felons, even though they're not made anymore because Ricky's not there anymore. But what I've talked to EMAC, and he said that they're eventually going to redo them and then put them under a different name.
Gotcha. Well, and I got that General in my Trash Panda Holiday disc swap.
Yes.
And I haven't gotten to throw it yet.
You're going to love it.
Yeah, so like, and that honestly, that might be one where it's like, if it'll stick up in a headwind, like it's going to go in the bag. Like if it's something that's going to work for me and I've got a use for it, I'll put it in the bag for sure.
Yeah. And then those generals also, they got redone. They're now in Supreme plastic.
Yeah.
They're no longer Saki Bomb generals.
Yes.
And they're supposed to fly like destroyers.
Okay. Yeah, I saw Broderick's video that he, where he was testing a disc for a month, where he wasn't talking, didn't have the name on it, didn't let anybody see it or anything like that. And I was like, okay, that actually looks like it'd be pretty dang good.
Yeah. So you're going to love that general when you get out and throw it.
Perfect.
So, you said a while ago how, in January, your next term season starting. We're looking forward to for your next season, like some new skill that you unlocked or something new to improve your game.
I would like to be able to find my forehand again. It's disappeared for the better part of this last year for some reason. And it's honestly, it's really just like once I get past like that FD3 or the cap wrap, like if I'm throwing that, or like I can trust both of those. If I go to anything faster, it feels foreign. It just seems like I can't find the right disc to like really fly how I want to. Like I could probably pump out about a 370, 380 foot forehand. Whenever I first started, because but it was a very much a super stable, super flat, like just chop Annie, like, and I'm wanting to be able to do something more than just that. Like I want to get to where I've got like a controlled kind of flip hyzer, like not just having to chop over on something with as much torque as possible and wear out my shoulder and my elbow. Just because I've kind of got a couple of not injuries, but I've just, I'm in my early 30s. It's like my body's not as young and as springy and spry as it used to be. But the biggest thing I'm looking forward to this next season is just continuing like my MPO competition and just trying to improve upon that. I had started this last year, I want to say like 896 or something like that. Like right around that 890 to 900, 904, 905, something like that. And I ended it at 9. I think I went down a few points. And I think it ended at 941. I'll end the year at 941 this year.
Oh, wow.
So I gained about 40, 50 points or so. And it was the kind of thing where it's like, even at the beginning of the year being, high 800s to low 900s, I knew that my rating was not truly indicative of where my skill was. I just hadn't had enough rounds, like sanctioned rounds and events and things like that, to really, paint a good picture of where my skill was, or like where I actually was as a disc golfer. So like early in the year, I just went ahead and I'm like, yeah, I'm just playing MA1. Like I know I can compete in MA1. I might be able to challenge for a win here or there, but it's also like I want to play against people that are better than me, because I want to try to like rise to their level and like watch and learn and see what they're doing. And so then I did the same thing partway through the year, where it's like, okay, what's the difference between playing MA1 versus MPO? I'm not playing enough events to worry about going to Am World. I'm not playing enough events to like worrying about going to NADGT or anything like that. So store credit, cash money, and then it's also like, and then the level of play, like, yeah, you're going to have your like high level guys that are MA1 guys that are trying to go and do those things. They're trying to go to NADGT. They're trying to win Am Worlds. They're trying to do things like that. But just, they're taking the store credit so that way they can get something for it, rather than playing MPO and then just denying cash. And I was like, I'm not worried about all the amateur versus professional stuff. So it's like, let me play against, the high level guys and give myself the opportunity to like make cash. And now for me, it's like, okay, I want to make cash in like over half my events or something like that. Like I haven't really like hammered out and set my goals for this next year. But this next year will be like my first full season playing MPO. And so like I'm wanting to try to be able to get to where I'm pushing like that 960, 970 rating. Um, and really trying to go towards, go towards that. If I can get my forehand back, that's certainly going to help. So that way it's not so wind dependent on having to like, turn over a backhand or certain things like that. Because that's actually what had happened. Like I started really trying to like hone in my backhand and work on my backhand stuff and working on different angle control and things like that. And my forehand just kind of went by the wayside. Like I would only need it if I've got, a 300-foot hole where I can just hit like that chop forehand and just like just rip it. And so like that's what I've got it for. So I've got it if I need it for an approach shot, but like I don't have that like 350, high speed driver just rip the forehand in the bag kind of thing. Just to be able to pull out whenever I need it. So like getting that forehand back, to be able to use it off the tee in certain situations, but then just continuing to improve upon the game, being able to bring the misses in a little bit better. And, if I add a few feet of distance here and there, great. Get inside the circle and try to make more putts. That's
Sweet.
the biggest thing.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if you're able to announce yet, but any new sponsors that you'll be representing this upcoming season?
As of right now, the only new one is Cardinal Disc Golf. Shout out to Kevin and the team over there. I got accepted to that, I guess about a month ago. This is the only gear that I've got in is this hat. I've got a new jersey that I got on Black Friday that's coming in. Once we get past the holiday season, I've got a little bit more in the bank account. I'm gonna get some more jerseys and be rocking some of their sweet stuff all season this next season. But yeah, other than that, it's Team Cardinal and Team Hooligan.
Sweet.
I've got a couple of, I've put out a couple of other applications. I just haven't heard any approvals or anything yet.
That's pretty cool. So, do you have any questions for me as we're wrapping this up?
Have you ever tried any hooligan stuff?
I'm not allowed to because I'm part of Team Trilogy, so I have to be 100%
so you're all
Trilogy.
Team Trilogy and everything like that. Okay. So outside of the Felon, what's the Trilogy disc that I need to go to? That I need to try?
For backhands, St. Pros.
Yeah, St. Pro?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll flip up really easily and they'll glide forever.
Okay. Then once I get back home after I'm done with vacation and Christmas and everything, I'll go to Replay and see if I can find one in there, find a couple in there and see if it makes the bag.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're a hyzer flip guy, you're going to love it.
Oh, that's 100%. That's kind of my preferred game is I like to just throw big hyzer flips that, and just get that nice big full flight out of it.
Yeah. If you've seen the video I posted today of me almost acing today, I threw a St. Pro right before that, and I was only 5 feet shorter of the basket.
Oh, okay. I'll go watch that video. Do you ever get to travel outside of New York and play many tournaments, or you pretty much just local and just stay up there?
Just local and kind of stay up here.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Cool. Where can people find you to follow your journey?
Find me at RyanKB_DG on Instagram. Mactown Disc Golf on YouTube. That's MACKTOWN. Mactown Disc Golf on YouTube. And I've got a personal YouTube channel that's also RyanKBDG, but since I became a part of Mactown Disc Golf and a few years ago, that's where I've been doing all of my YouTube content and everything like that. Otherwise, it's just Instagram and YouTube. I don't really do TikTok or anything like that.
Cool. Well, thank you for joining, coming on tonight, and thank you for putting up with my bad voice tonight.
No, absolutely. I appreciate it.
All right, have a good one.
Thanks. You too.